Let's roll it, girls.
Hey there, welcome to this episode of Elvis and the Pink Cadillacs. We're your rockin' ride guides, Victory
and Skylar,
ready to take you on a pink hue journey through the Elvis's life and music.
But hey, quick heads up, we're not experts, just Elvis-loving gals having a blast in the pink Cadillac.
Our info might have a funky beat, but it's all about the fun, not the perfection.
Picture us dancing in the back seat, sharing Elvis tales, interviews, and good vibes.
Join our sisterhood of fans, share your Elvis stories, and let's roll together.
So buckle up, because with Elvis and the Pink Cadillacs, every journey is an adventure. Hi!
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Elvis and the Pink Cadillacs.
We're back, guys. We took a little hiatus for a couple weeks, but we are so excited about today's episode.
Today's episode, we have our first guest. I should have played a drum roll. I can add one.
Cody!
Hey, and I know he is so pumped to be on the podcast as well and to share his stories and experiences and just everything that man has to offer.
He'll be joining us in a little bit here, but first we thought we would catch up a little bit on what's been going on the last couple weeks.
Dude, so much has happened. The 68 Reinventing
Elvis came out, guys. It was so good. If you could not see it on July 30th, it'll be out on, I think it was either August 15th or August 16th.
Positive. I think it's August 15th on Paramount, right?
Okay, yeah. Paramount Plus.
Yep.
If you don't have Paramount Plus, you're going to want to just do a trial subscription or something because you want to see it. It was worth seeing.
It was so emotional. I went with my husband and there was so many people in the theater from all different generations. There's a few ETAs sitting in front of me, some older people, some younger people. It was just like a good mixture group, you know?
It felt really good to be in the theater with like other Elvis fans because you know that like people who knew about this are true Elvis fans because it wasn't like plastered everywhere. So you knew you were in the room with like Elvis fans and it wasn't just random people going to see an Elvis movie.
Oh, when I first walked in, I literally thought the two ETAs were drugged there by their grandparents because there was like an elderly couple sitting next to them and they looked so out of it until they picked up the phone and they were talking about getting flights to Memphis. And I was like,
oh my God.
Oh, I know. Mid-theater. I was like, Memphis? They're like talking about performing. I was like, oh, hello.
You're like, who are you?
I know, pretty much.
It was so emotional. We're definitely gonna do like a future episode on it when it's closer to coming out, which is like in a couple weeks. But it was amazing, and I learned some new things from it, which was crazy.
Are we gonna talk about how Colonel used to eat like handfuls of pepper?
Yeah, let's address that real quick. What the hell?
What the heck?
There is like some crazy things that are said about the Colonel in this, but like guys, if you didn't know, which I did not know this.
Clueless.
He would do a game where people would like bet and be like, oh, you can't eat like this many handfuls of pepper, and he would just do it until he couldn't eat pepper anymore.
I don't know how he learned that talent. I didn't even know he was an animal trainer, and that was the first time we heard him talk. You and I both, I feel like.
Yeah. So, I think we learned a lot about the Colonel.
I'm not a fan of the Colonel.
We don't like the Colonel. I don't think anyone likes the Colonel. So
that's going to have to be a deep dive in its own episode.
Yeah. So that's just a little spoiler. Sorry if you didn't want to
know.
Pepper
eating. That's all we got from him.
Colonel
pepper eating.
Pepper for fun. Okay.
Ew, that would burn.
No, that would hurt.
That would hurt
he was
so
much. Insane for that. That was not very real of him. Don't eat pepper, please. Don't do that.
But can we talk about seeing If I Can Dream literally on the big screen?
I couldn't even see because I was bawling. So
same. I was trying to hide the tears from my husband. He was like, "Are you gonna cry?" And I was like, "Probably." Yeah. And I was like, "I can't cry. I cried the whole time.
It was a lot. And like I didn't think I was gonna get too emotional, but like he sings Blue Christmas in it from Blue Christmas to the end, which I think was at least like 20-25 minutes.
Yeah.
tears were just streaming. And in my head, I'm like, why am I getting so emotional right now? But it's just like, you miss him so much. Like, I just left the theater being like, I miss Elvis Presley.
No,
I don't even know him, but I miss him, and I wish he was here.
Seriously, though, it started for me when he was sitting between the two girls singing Memories, and the girls were reminiscing back on that moment, looking at Elvis and hearing their voices in present time, but seeing their faces like when they were like late teens, early 20s, looking at Mr. Elvis Presley and just, they were in awe.
Were so close. They were so close.
They were so close. Also, can we talk about some of the older women, their comments? One of the girls was like, he was sweaty, and it just couldn't get any better than that.
I know. They were cracking me up. I was actually so happy that they brought people who were at the special to like be in the documentary. I thought that was really important.
Real
and that
people
was super
with
cool.
real comments. I love how genuine, and they didn't cut any of it out. Like, I love how real it was, because it made us feel like how we are now. You know what I mean?
No, 1,000%. And I really also loved like the history aspect that they added into it, because I'm not very good on history. Let's like, if I'm being so honest, like that was not one of my strong suits in school, but like Elvis has made me pay more attention to history. And like, it was really nice to like know what was going on around Memphis in the world at the time, because I feel like that's never really talked about.
No.
At all with Elvis.
Well, I'll tell you what happened this weekend. So this weekend was like a little Elvis weekend with my family and I. I went to Tampa, Florida, and went to Hard Rock. If you guys saw my TikTok, I saw a lot of the Elvis Presley. I saw his 1958 Germany Army suit.
Iconic.
Can we take a moment? Iconic. His golden piano, 2 of his guitars. There's a lot of Hard Rock. Anywho, it was my grandmother's first time watching Elvis this weekend. I sat down with her. She was born in that era. Like, she was in her 20s throughout the 60s. And I will never forget this moment with her. We were sitting there on the couch, and she just started getting very emotional because she was watching her life and, like, what she went through play out on the screen.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that when I went to see Elvis, because my mom was just a baby. You know, like, it was like my parents weren't alive, like, to remember, and my best friend was obviously not there. So it's just like so cool to see a person from that generation appreciate the film and tell me facts that like I didn't even know about that time.
That is so special. Like, getting to reminisce and be like, that was my era. Like, how cool is that?
Oh, she was going off.
I love that you got to have that moment with her. That's so special.
She told me my grandfather saw Elvis Presley in Vegas. Sadly, he's not around to say the story, but she said that he had the best time. And I was like, dang it, I wish I was an Elvis fan just a few years ago.
I know. Don't we all? Like, that's how I feel too. I'm like, I wish I discovered Elvis sooner, but I know, we're happy to be here now. That's all that matters.
Yes, I just think about your grandfather's story.
I know. And I haven't even told the story on here yet, but I'll tell it I'll tell it soon when we have more time to talk. But
it's a treat.
My grandfather is just a character, and he cracks me up. I would love to get him on here one day, but I really don't think he would understand what was going on. So it's great.
But I think we should head into our next segment. What is it called, Skylar?
Cadillac Confessions.
Woohoo! All right.
Do you want to take it first?
I can take it first. All right. So this is a segment where we read your emails that you sent in to us, and we are going in order of how we received them. Yes. So next on the list is Miss Samantha. Okay, first of all, she says she loves our podcast. Thank you. We appreciate that. And it makes her Elvis-loving heart happy to see other people who are her age that love anything and everything about Elvis. Can we get an amen for that?
Amen.
Amen. I've been a huge Elvis fan since she was a little girl. Her obsession started when her family was sharing their love of Elvis with her. Although my parents say it started on their trip to Graceland in '96 when her mom was pregnant with her. So she literally was born into the Elvis world.
She was there. She didn't even know it. She was there.
She did not even know it. I love that. She said, I recently found out my uncle has the ticket and a scarf my aunt kept from an Elvis concert she attended back in 1977.
Girl.
Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but she can't imagine the stories and memories she's had doing that experience. I have pretty much been surrounded by Elvis fans my entire life, and they have definitely played a huge role in my love for Elvis. In July of last year, I watched the Elvis movie. What a ride that was. Can't agree more. Ever since, I've been even more obsessed with Elvis. I even took half of a vacation day and left early to go see the movies with some friends who hadn't seen the movie yet. Honestly, you spent it right. Not even gonna be mad at that. Earlier this year, we were able to go see an ETA concert. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Where they had a performer for each Elvis era. That's iconic. Charlie Stone, who was a tour producer for Elvis in the 1970s, travels with this group of ETAs, and he would tell us stories of his time with Elvis. Wow. One of the ETAs even started giving kisses on our hands during his performances. I'm not sure if any of us in our group were the same after that.
I love it.
I didn't even have the guts to go up to my ETA performance to get a kiss. I did not.
I couldn't.
Brave.
I was locked into the seats. I couldn't even get out if I wanted to.
Those old ladies were trapping me in. I could not leave. They were so lucky. The whole experience was amazing. In April, I finally crossed Graceland off my bucket list. Girl, that's amazing. And I've lived in Tennessee my entire life, and this was my very first trip to Memphis. I love everything about Graceland. Again, I'm so excited for the podcast and for us to share more Elvis.
Girl.
I love that. I love that lengthy story. I love that she was like literally in her mom's stomach in 96 at Graceland.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much for sending in that amazing story, Samantha. And we look forward to hearing from y'all even more. Sky, who's next on the list?
Okay, so next up we have Jordan. Thanks for writing in, Jordan. She says, I'm so excited you ladies are letting us and wanting us to share our Elvis stories. Yes, please send us your Elvis stories if you haven't already. And she said, where do I begin? I became an Elvis fan back in 2007 when I was 13. My brother unfortunately passed away 7 months ago in December. I am so sorry, sis. Had a soccer tournament in Memphis. One day his team didn't have to play and my mom was looking for something to do and mentioned Graceland. I remember asking what Graceland was and she said, oh, it's Elvis Presley's house. From that day on, I was hooked. I was always known as the weird Elvis girl. Girl. At this point, we're the weird Elvis girls too. Don't even worry.
Seriously.
Growing up, but I didn't care. I became so enamored that I lived and breathed him and the Presley family. Then in 2013, the day before my 19th birthday, I was able to meet Lisa Marie. I am so jealous of you. Oh my God.
You have lived a life.
I remember it like it was yesterday. She was so sweet and gracious. Before it was my turn to meet her, I looked at her and immediately started sobbing. You're so real for that. She looked at me in the sweetest voice and she said, hey, it's all right. I told her how much she meant to me and obviously her dad. Embarrassingly enough, I had her sign a picture in one of my Elvis books of her. That I would do that too. Elvis and Priscilla the day she was being brought home from the hospital, and she looked at it and says, well, there I am. I also had her sign my Storm and Grace CD. At 26, I finally got the Elvis tattoo I always wanted, the TCB logo on my wrist, and I constantly get questions about it, and I love it. Once the Elvis movie came out, my love reignited. I am forever grateful for you ladies because you are keeping his memory alive, and now I have internet Elvis besties and you guys. Thanks again for taking the time to read and listen to my story, TCB with TLC. We love you, Jordan. Thank you.
Oh my
Thank you so much for sending that. How special is it that you got to meet Lisa? That's amazing.
I love that comment that she made. Well, there I am.
Well, there I am as a little baby. I would do the same thing though. Like, you're not alone in that. So
I love that. Seriously.
Same.
Oh, so, please keep sending in more emails.
Please do. We do see them. If we don't get back to you right away, we will get back to you at some point. Don't worry. And you will know that your email was seen by us if we reply to you. If we haven't replied, that means we haven't seen it yet. And if we haven't replied in like a week or 2 weeks, then send us another email. It may have gone to spam. So
yes,
we want to hear from you.
Please.
But that was Cadillac Confessions.
Right. Yay!
And we're back.
Oh my goodness. Well, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Our guest is like waiting. Oh!
Yep.
Should we do our little first introduction? I'm so excited.
I know. Wait, I need to listen to how he says his last name again. Because I can't remember.
We're going to put this on TikTok.
Deonath. Deo.
Can
Deo.
Dale. Dale.
Daylight come and
But
they
I
won't
don't
go
home. Next up, Cody. Cote Deonath.
If you haven't seen Beetlejuice, you won't get that reference, but that's just what reminded me of it. And he said, okay, so let's...
Are we keeping that in the podcast?
We can if you want.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever you want, I don't care. We'll go through and we'll see if it works.
Dale.
Deonath. Okay, do you want to say the introduction then?
I can, yes. I can say it. I don't mind.
Okay, ready?
All right, everyone. So, an extraordinary Elvis tribute artist who mesmerizes the audiences with electrifying performances. And at this point, I won't even say he's just an ETA. He is one of our really good friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
We are so happy to have on the podcast Cote Deonath.
Woo! Woo! Hi, Cody.
How are y'all?
Welcome to Elvis and the Pink Cadillacs. You made it.
I know, we made it.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel like I want to go to Disney World.
Let's go.
I want to go to Disney World. I want to go right now.
Right now.
Run out of Disney World.
Oh my Lord. But no, I feel great. We're days away from Elvis week, so we're recording this pretty close to the time. I leave Thursday to go to Tupelo. So we're fitting it in right before we leave, right?
That's so
my
exciting.
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
How are you doing mentally, like preparing for that?
Good. Actually great. I feel better than I've ever have prepping for the contest and whatnot. I truly it's all mental, right? Like, because you're prepping for essentially 6 minutes of your entire year is kind of down to like 6 minutes, right? And then if you do good in those 6 minutes, you get to have another 6 minutes, right? And then you get to have another 3 minutes, right? If you do good in those next 6 minutes, so it's all done, I think, before you hit the stage, and you just gotta go in there and you gotta have fun and you gotta have confidence in what you can do, and just stay true to what you've done 365 days since the last time you were in Memphis, right? And
Amazing.
hope that you've improved in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, so I mean it's exciting. It's always kind of crazy how fast it kind of creeps up on you, because it's like we were in Tupelo, and then from Tupelo we were in Florida, and then from Florida now it's Kentucky's been blown out of the water, and now we're here, right? We're on the podcast, and we're right knocking on his door. So yeah, it's good.
So
it's good.
Crazy. Okay.
Let's start before we go into the ultimate, because we're looking at it from the point of like, we're new fans, and a lot of other people are new fans too. And when they think Elvis tribute artist, they don't really know that there's like a competition aspect to it. So, and like, let's just go into like, what is the ultimate? How do you get to the ultimate? Like, pretty much all the tea with that,
Yeah, absolutely. The Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist contest was started by Graceland as a measuring stick, right? They said, come one, come all. And you could actually sign up for the first Ultimate Elvis contest in 2007, which for the listeners who don't know, Sean Clush was the first Ultimate Elvis winner. And the contest field was so tough that year, because it was open to the public. Like, it was, you didn't have to win your prelim to get into the ultimate. You could, but but I think if I'm correct, you could sign up and stuff like that. But the following year there was just all prelims, because it allows Graceland to have another pan to kind of sift through the gold, right? To find the golden nugget, right? Because there are obviously people who don't represent Elvis in the best light, right? And we try to counteract that with what we do. And so you have to win your own prelim to get into the semifinal round. So that was 2008, 2009, to all the way to 2023. We are still here. I think this is the 16th Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artists
Wow.
contest. So 16 years, there is that many. I mean, and
Yeah.
you have close to 50,000 plus Elvis, tribute artists and around the world that do this. And there's 15 guys who have the stamp of approval by Elvis Presley Enterprises. It means the
It's
world.
crazy. Yeah,
And
that's huge.
it is. And you're right, the real work starts then, right? You go to the contest, and you're working with the estate, right? Like, you're on the grounds, you have feet there. There's such wonderful people. They have such a they have it figured out, really. Like, there's no other contest that I've ever competed in that's been as professional and ran as smoothly. It's like clockwork. I mean, like, and it's huge, right? Like, you walk in, like, I competed. I won my first spot in 2016. I was 18 years old, and
Wow.
still a baby, still an
Yes,
infant,
you very much so,
an infant
baby.
baby, just an infant baby, just an infant baby, just a little bit. What did he say? He said that on I think he was doing his monologue in 1969, Elvis, and he goes, I was a baby, a little infant baby.
Exactly like that.
Yeah, and he did. And he was doing that monologue. Have you seen the video that Graceland put out of like all, like, they animated it, right? It was super cool. Like, there's all these,
I
like,
have
little.
not seen it.
Yeah, you gotta go check it out. Yeah,
but I was listening to the live in
Yeah,
1969 album
they
today,
actually
so
yeah,
I
they
know exactly what
actually
you're talking
animated that monologue. And when he's going, he's going, what? And he goes, ooh, all right, all this weird. And he goes, some bitch, or something like that.
Yes.
Some bitch. It's Elvis, or something like that. Like, right, like, that's just Elvis he was crazy. But anyways, squirrel moment. Back to what we're talking about.
We're gonna have plenty of those.
Right. 18 years old, and you go into this contest, right? And at that point, it was a pipe dream for me, because, like, I watched guys like Dean Z and David Lee, and all of these guys, Sean Clush, Brandon Bennett, Bill Cherry, all of these guys who really just embodied what it was like to be an ultimate Elvis tribute artist champion, right? And I was like, man, oh my gosh, like, that's just that. It would be cool just to, like, qualify one year, right?
Yeah.
Not thinking that anything of it, right? And so I did, and I mean, it was a culture shock. I remember being petrified, right? I mean, I was petrified. I was so petrified. I had, like, this weird. I looked back at the pictures, right? Because this is my 7th year competing and whatnot, and I looked at it, and I was like, what? It doesn't even look like me, right? Like, I don't even look like me. I look at that, and then I look at the experience that I had, and it was at the Orpheum. So it didn't always used to be at the soundstage, because the soundstage wasn't always there. It was being built, right? So it was actually, they were moving the Ultimate to that soundstage the following year in 2017. So
Wow.
so, like, it was at the Orpheum down on Beale Street. I don't know if you guys, when you guys have gone to Graceland, like, you've seen the Orpheum. It's gorgeous inside. I mean, it is literally probably just one of the best theaters that I've ever gotten the privilege to, like, set foot on. So, I mean, you walk out, and it's these, you just look up, and it's just this, I mean, there's seats going all the way up, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what am I doing with my life? And I'm sitting here, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm going to tell myself, active theater, I'm like 5'6", and it's like, I'm like a peanut. I'm like a peanut, and I'm just sitting here, you know what I mean? Edit that part out. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's all smoke. It's all smoke and mirrors. That's all it is. It's all smoke and mirrors, right? But no. So the you walk out there, and like, it's just electric, right? Like, there's this big fight feel. Like, you can You can feel it. I'm getting the pit in the center of my chest just talking about it.
Oh, I can
Legitimately,
only
like
imagine.
legitimately. So you go out there, you sing two songs,
Okay.
separate from each other, and they pick the songs. So you submit your songs. Yes,
Interesting.
you absolutely. So you have full control of what you're gonna do, what they're gonna pick from. But you have to declare your era for each one and stuff like
Okay.
that. And so two songs separate from each other. They pick in a random order. I got my what when is this dropping? When is this dropping?
August 5th, so on
August
Saturday.
5th. Yeah.
August 5th.
Saturday.
Okay, so I won't tell my number
You won't.
because
I was gonna
then
say
Okay,
you
it
can't
won't
okay.
be
say it yet.
privy.
No.
I can't say that.
You
I
can tell
can't
us
say that.
about past ones you've done.
Yeah.
So I can't remember where I was. I think I was like 15th, my first ultimate. I don't know. I still have the email when they were like, "Here's your number," and I'm like,
Oh.
"Okay, great, here we go." So you submit 10 songs, and then from those 10 songs, they pick your two, and it's by performance order. So if you're like one, then you get one, right? And then they go through the order, and then they go reverse order, or they go one again. It depends on the year. Depends on what they're
Okay.
feeling. You know what I mean? They change it up year by year, so like the guys can't be like, "Oh, well, if I get one, I'll get both of my first pick." No,
Yeah.
no. Some years you won't. You'll have to go back down the list. So if you're one, then you have to wait through the rest of this, 22 guys, right?
Oh my
Um,
god.
so in the amount of people that qualify per year, it varies on the amount of preliminaries that they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So this year we have 15. Last year was 14. The year before there was only a few, but that COVID
Yeah.
21 that was an interesting year, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was different in the way that they had their qualifiers and stuff like that. But like, so
Mm-hmm.
you go through this and you get your two songs, you go out there, they bring you to Memphis, you go to Memphis and you go through the meet and greet, you go through orientation, you get to see some cool Elvis stuff. I have seen some bangers of things. I have seen the actual J200 from That's the Way It Is. That he, yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Dean was privileged every single time to get to hold those things, and the guys got to be up close and personal with Elvis's things. I
A
know
Wow.
that,
dream.
yeah, a dream. We saw a pair of his shoes from the 50s, a pair of his jumpsuit boots, black ones, and they had EP. So they had
Oh
like the
my
sunburst
gosh.
studs around it, and then there was EP
So
in studs.
pretty.
And it was
That's
amazing. Um, and I know, right? It's crazy. And we got to see the actual international attendance record belt.
bye.
Yeah.
You
Bye.
can leave now. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it.
I'll have
I'm done.
to I'll have to like I don't know what type of editing that you guys, but if you put pictures up, like I can send pictures of everything.
Okay.
That year we also got to see Elvis's cell phone,
Cell
briefcase phone,
phone.
Like yeah,
What?
he was a huge
Wait.
spy movie fan, and Angie brought it out and she was like, "You know what this is?" And we're like, "It's a briefcase, right?" And then like she opened it and she goes, "No, it's a phone." And it was like gold plated, and it was his telephone. Like, and
I'm like shook
Wow.
right now. I did
it
not
was
think
What?
awesome.
that.
It was
Um,
awesome.
it-
That also that same year, I think in 2017, that was my second ultimate, and I actually won Tupelo that year to qualify for the ultimate, which Tupelo
Oh,
is. I'm a Tupelo
love.
Festival champion, so once you win that, it's kind of like winning the ultimate. You're just it
congratulations.
was a dream, right? I
Yeah.
couldn't even, I still can't believe it, right? It's just great. It's awesome,
Mm-hmm.
but so yes, so they brought out another thing that was just, it shook all of us. It was his wallet. um
Yeah.
yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was his
Dude.
wallet. Yeah, so, and it was the wallet that Lisa actually takes right when she gets there, and she holds the wallet. She holds the wallet every throughout the entire her length of her stay. While she's there, she always has that wallet with her, or
My
had that wallet.
heart.
Yeah. And Angie opened it up and showed us what was inside, right? And there was a newspaper clipping of when Elvis, returned back in 1969. So that just shows you how cool that is.
Wow.
That
was
like,
to him. That it was a newspaper clipping,
so
and it
important.
said King is back, or King
wow.
or something like that. It was that picture that what, like, I think he's like holding the guitar and he's like mid like he's roar and stuff like that.
It's everything.
So it's awesome. So
that
so it's
like actually happened today. Like actually I'm pretty sure it was yesterday was the first one, but I saw the pictures on Instagram today. It was like August 1st the press conference happened, like Elvis is back, and I'm like, oh, that's what a special day.
That's
it's
crazy.
So cool, right? And but yeah, so from there, like they do those artifact showings, and I'm sure we'll talk more about what I've seen and what the guys have seen and had the privilege of seeing. It's just been amazing. But so they do that, then you can do a meet and greet. You get your time with the band to talk about your set and stuff like that, and then they release you. And then a couple of years they've done a showcase, so you get to sing a couple of songs and whatnot. But yeah, that's all done on grounds at Graceland now, and from there we get our sideburns on, hair done or whatever.
What is the process of the sideburns?
I used to grow mine, right? Because I couldn't grow mine for the longest time, and it's like, it's super cool because like everybody has a different approach from it, right? Like everybody does. I personally love the fake ones because you can really just not look anything like them
all the time.
You know what I mean? Elvis. Like I respect the absolute hell out of the guys that can go for that look all the time. And I love Alex, but Alex and me but Alex recently converted. He converted. He shaved his burns off.
He shaved them off.
Congratulations, Alex.
Alex actually, Mitchell.
Yes, Alex
Congrats
Mitchell.
to you.
Absolutely, but he did it because he is now doing Tom Jones and Garth Brooks as well.
Oh, that's cool.
He's incredible. He is unbelievable.
Tom Jones.
Incredible,
Brooks,
absolutely. And he is he was like, I really want to, like, I'm really ready for it. Like he goes, I don't want to, but I do. I really do. Like he was just like, do you have those for me? So I gave him a pair of mine, and they fit his face perfect. They look better than they did on me.
Christening him.
Literally, no, not even close. Like it was like they were made for him. I was so upset. I was like, they're not even made for me. They were made for you. Who knew? That's why they never look right on me.
Can I ask, is it real human hair?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh
real
my
human
gosh.
Hair. Yep.
So you pay quality for those sideburns.
Yes, wow. A lady by the name of Mimi produces them out of Nashville. She lives in Nashville, and they are called Strictly Elvis Sideburns. Shout out to Strictly Elvis Sideburns.
Shout out Mimi.
Oh.
Shout out to Mimi.
Doing the Lord's work.
Go buy sideburns if you want to have a pair of replica of Elvis's Aloha from Hawaii burns. Literally, she's 100% like Elvis. I'm gonna sound like a weirdo, and for those of you who are not privy to ETAs and how much research that we do, this should tell you how much research that we do and how much care we take for our jobs. Elvis never had the same size sideburn on either side of his face, ever. They were always different sizes.
I would believe that,
every time. Look at Aloha. The Aloha, one of them was very big and squared.
Yeah.
And the other one was smaller and more squared. And it didn't go all the way down. The other one engulfed his face. The other one was a lot slimmer. I'm a complete nerd.
Is there a reason?
No,
it
was just something. It just happened. I have no clue, but that was something funny.
I didn't know that.
But in turn, Mimi's sideburns are reflectant of that. Like both of my sideburns are not the same. So I literally had to tell her. To tell her, and I was like, Mimi, can you make both of them the same shape? And she goes, that's not authentic. And I was like, okay, you got me there. Like I don't have I don't have anything else to say at that point.
Precision.
Right.
They're not authentic.
But I sent her some pictures of my new ones. I'm getting a custom pair. Hopefully they're going to be done before Elvis week. But like I have 1969 burns, and then I have 1970 burns. But they're framed to my face. Cyberns are supposed to frame your face, like
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
This
so like
amazing.
Yes.
Elvis.
I thought they were real. I thought your sideburns were real when you performed. Close. And then I saw you the next day without them. And I was like, wow, he shaved those off so quick.
Yeah, I have them. They're getting packed for Memphis, right? Oh, I have 68 too. Like I have a 68 pair of sideburns too. Even though like I have
bring them on camera.
Yeah, you could.
I have them,
you
but
could.
they're just not shaped right. Like I don't
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these are going absolutely away. Like I'm shaving them all the way up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but you use your real hair though too. Though there's nothing.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Okay.
There's no hairpiece or anything like that. Some guys use wigs because they really want to shed that personality and stuff like that. Like and I I respect that too. But I love my hair too much, so no.
Oh, understandable.
So I recently just made the flip to the right side of my hair going. I always used to do my hair on the left side, and Elvis's was parted on the right side. So if you're looking at a mirrored image, so he always parted on the right side, and it looked like I learned looking at Elvis's hair going that way, but it needs to go the other way because if you take a picture, the hair doesn't look authentic, right?
It's all about precision, baby.
It's all about precision. Dean Z, shout out to Dean Z for pushing me off that cliff, right? He did that. He literally did that at Summerfest. So like he was just like, you need to do it this way, and I was like,
shout out Dean Z.
I gotta look like alfalfa. I kind of look like alfalfa. I look like alfalfa. Little rascals. Like I'll look like with the hair just all like slicked down. Because I don't know how to do my hair that way, right? I've learned. I've learned.
Yeah.
Like I've learned.
I mean, we've seen your hair. Yes, we know.
It's crazy. It's like right down the middle. That's my natural part. Literally, my natural part is right down the middle of my face.
We love that.
I don't.
I don't. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't. I really don't. Like people will be sitting there like, or my mom will be like, just this, and I'm like, stop. Like don't make me look like Lord Farquaad or something like that. Like, good God.
Why did we have to bring that up?
We can't get into Lord Farquaad.
Why did we
Some of you will die. But it's a price I'm willing to pay.
I do have to say, Cody, you're not alone with the sideburns because I also look at Elvis's sideburns quite a lot. And
I just look at his face sometimes. I'm just like, you know what? You suck.
You
are just, you are too perfect.
Yeah, he really is.
I feel like God was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put a little bit. Oh my God, Jesus!
Yeah, they like spilled the whole thing.
Everything, like all of the twinkling powder.
I tripped.
Literally.
My favorite is like when he's Greg Nolan and Live a Little, Love a Little, and they're just like so short and pointy.
I'm blown away that you know his name from Live a Little, Love a Little.
Are you kidding? I like Ross Carpenter from Girls, Girls, Girls. Like
You want to know the bad? Listen. You want to know the bad thing? They're like, what are you watching? I'm like, I'm watching Elvis. Literally. Like, that's it. Like, as a kid, they were like, I never remembered him by his name.
That's
like,
so
ever.
Funny.
I never remembered any of the co-stars. Like, there is no recollection of any of the, like, I know the plot, right? I don't remember any of the co-stars' names. I don't remember any of what his names were.
So funny.
Like, the only reason why I remember this one is because I had to listen to the Viva Elvis version of this song when I was editing videos in the King Creole, like the trailers on hard hitting, Danny Fisher, blah 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 blah. Like Danny Fisher, that's the only name that I know. Yeah, literally the only name that I know, and I'm so shocked. I am so shocked that you know the names of his characters.
I could name off so many names.
I am so proud, right? I am so proud.
That feels good. That feels good to hear from you.
I feel like a fraud now.
No.
I feel so shook right now.
Listen. I'm worse of a fraud then too. I
remember Toby from Fall Out Dream. I remember the one that got me started, right? Like I remember Toby. because my
gonna
cat
say.
used to be named Toby, and the girl one
That's
was
an
named
easy
Holly.
one.
You got started because of Follow That Dream. I did a little research, sir.
I did. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, but wrapping up the ultimate, you get through. We went on a big tangent, right?
That's okay.
I loved
That's
it.
okay. That's okay.
I loved it. This is what podcasts are about, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, so like from there, you sing your 2 songs. They cut down to the top 10. So if you have 22 competitors, you're about to go home, or you're going to get to the promised land. I was very fortunate enough to make the cut. The first year that I made the ultimate, I got through the top 10, which was incredible. There's always so many. That's the best of the best, because these guys are the best of the best that are out there competing for this year and stuff like that. So and then you go back again. They do another random drawing for the order, and then they they pick your songs, but in this time they pick the 1 and 2, right? They go right down the middle. Like, so if you're 1, you get your first 1 and 2 picks. So, and that's never changed. So, and these songs are sang back to back, so you can't do a costume change or anything like that. So from there, you show up at final day. You actually have an interview with the 4 judges, and normally those interviews are with people who either knew Elvis, are influential in music today, or are in the entertainment industry. This year our judges are Linda Thompson, Spencer Sutherland. Like, I mean, they're some big names, right? So actually, hold on, I'll pull up the rest of them. Right?
That's
I don't want to.
Linda Thompson.
Linda, bro.
Linda Thompson, Spencer Sutherland, Richard Ross, the senior vice president of NBC Universal.
Wow.
So and then John
my
Jackson. Yeah, literally. I know. Like, what? Like,
I was like, wait, what? My boss?
Yeah, Richard Ross is a judge for the ultimate. And then musician and recording label executive John Jackson, which he works on all the Elvis projects that come through Sony and a lot of that stuff.
Wow.
So people who are stacked. Right? They have Linda and Spencer. Spencer is highly influenced from Elvis and stuff like that, and he's such a retro old soul. Like, his style is so awesome. And obviously Linda, like, she needs no introduction. Like, she's amazing. So like, but you get interviewed by these people. Like last year, Donna Tutt, Malin Mason from Trouble with Girls.
Trouble with Girls. Yep. Yes, Queen.
Sam Thompson, Linda's brother.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yep, Sam Thompson was a judge last year. And then Scott, he was the former VP of marketing for Graceland. So there were 4 bangers. Like, so I mean, like, how can you get any better than those? Joe Petruccio was a judge my first year, the guy who does all the amazing artwork of Elvis. At Graceland and stuff like that. Who else? Good Lord. Sam Phillips' daughter was a judge.
Love that.
Who else?
That's just amazing.
Those are the ones. They were in there, and they varied. Like, right?
Yeah.
And so they're qualified people. So you get interviewed by them. That's a big thing, right?
That's
it's human
huge.
nature to be picking your winner or picking your people who have a connection. So that is going to be something that's a huge thing. And that's the biggest thing that I look at as if you make it to that point, like if I'm fortunate enough to make it to that point, you're about to go into a job interview, right? So you have to be on your toes. You have to charm. You have to, be as humble and as nice and courteous and polite as you would, because you're getting interviewed for a job, right?
May I ask you what are some of the questions they ask you?
It varies. Normally standard stuff, nothing too hard hitting. Like, one of the ones that stuck with me, and it happened my first year, right? They said, what qualifies you to win this contest over the other guys? I'm 18, right? And they asked me this question, and I'm like,
you're like,
I'm a baby.
I just wanted to, like, you know how you look at someone and you're like, you're really tall. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, what are you going to, like, say that I have eyes too? Like, what are you talking about? Like, no. Like, I look at that and I'm just like, I literally didn't say anything. I was like, I actually have no clue. Like, I have no clue. I have no clue. I love Elvis, and I literally said, like, I was not prepared for that that question. And
did
and
you
they were
make
like,
it?
no, I did not make the top 5. I did not make the top 5 after that. No. And I was nervous as all get out. Like, I was just yeah. I love that. I love Elvis, and I love the way that he sings, and he's really great.
I like his sideburns. He
I
was
like
really
literally
nice.
like I was so surface level with that, and like 17, like I got like smited down, and I didn't even make the cut that year.
Oh wow!
You know, I'm not ashamed to say the type of person, because we all go through ebbs and flows as
of course
as a person,
up.
and you know, we all go through ebbs and flows of who we are as a person. And it was a big teaching moment in my career, in my life. You know, you're not owed anything. You're not guaranteed anything. You have to put in the work every day. The work starts with yourself, and the work starts with how you treat other people and how you treat life in general, right? And so I got cut that year, and I had to watch it from the sidelines, and it was a big eye opener that nothing's guaranteed, right? No matter what you're doing in this career or the next career or anything in life. And I worked on myself very hard, and I came back, and I won the Branson Elvis Festival in 2018. And
congratulations.
Yes, absolutely. So many accomplishments that I look back, and it's just such a crazy thing, right? I don't even look at myself as, you know, I talk about it as memories and stuff like that, but it's not like I focus on that stuff, right? It's here one day and then it's gone the next day, because there's another contest. There's always another guy, you know,
there's always room to grow.
Exactly. And there's always room to grow. Like, you can feel good about stuff, right? But, you know, don't let it consume you, because, you know, that's how egos are born. And that's how, you know, you think you get complacent. You know, I think that's where egos are born. You get complacent and you think that you've got it, and you don't, because you don't ever really got it, because the work never stops.
No.
Right?
Yep.
Ever.
No.
And I came back in 2018, and I had bare minimum expectations of just making the top 10. I broke the top 10, and I did 70s for the first time. I had been force-fed to be 50s because I was a young kid. I was a young kid. And this is the status quo in this, or was the status quo in this industry, right? And I'm not ashamed to say this, and I don't care. I don't care. Like, come at me, like, whatever. There was a status quo in this industry when I was growing up. Like, if you were young, you did the 50s. You didn't do a jumpsuit, right? I am very blessed to be able to have the successes and stuff like that I have had. And one of my biggest blessings, and something that I thank God, and I'm not ashamed to say that, every day, is my voice, right? I know that it is a privilege to be able to sing, and to be able to look at something and replicate it and do it hopefully justice, right? And it was always a thing where I felt pigeonholed going into the 50s, when I could sing How Great Thou Art, I could sing Hurt, I could sing Bridge Over Troubled Waters, I could sing Unchained Melody, all of that different stuff, right? And I said, you know what, the heck with the haters, I'm going in there and I'm growing my sideburns out. And I had the biggest mutton chops that I think anybody has ever said.
Gosh.
They were like all the way
Those
down
were
here.
Homegrown?
Homegrown, like all the way down here. Like, it was ridiculous.
Amazing.
It was ridiculous. Like,
they were all organic, baby.
They were. I went in there and I sang my booty off. And
And this is 2018.
This is 2018. This is my third year in the Ultimate, and I came back and I placed. I placed.
Wow.
I got third place.
Wow.
I remember when they call my name for the top 5, and it never ceases to amaze me. I always have the same reaction, and some people think it's disingenuous, but it's not. It's literally me. there will never be another feeling on this planet when they march you out and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well,
oh yeah,
here we go. Like, we're gonna get, and then Dean or Joey Sapalik says, in no particular order, like,
yeah.
please step forward.
Oh, just shaking in your boots.
I'm literally like, I have so much anxiety right now.
Yeah.
Like last year was
Oh
so
my
bad.
gosh.
Every year was so bad, right? Like, and you know, they called everybody out, and I was the first name that they called out, and I literally just dropped to the floor and just started uncontrollably sobbing. Like I was crying. I was all literally like, I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Like, right? Like, what do you mean? Like, and then I looked over, and then Ben got called, and I was like, what's happening? And then Diogo Light gets called, which is another banger, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like Al Jocelyn, and I'm like, how is this possible? And then Nick Perkins, and I was like, oh my god, my friend made it. Like, how is this even? Like, it was just like one of those whirlwinds, and I looked around, and then they were like, you have to go, you got to go choose your signature song, and I was like, oh crap, and that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I had some choice words. I was like, oh. Like, I was like, whoa. So, and then they whisk you off. So after you get done, you get through the top 5. If you made it, you choose your signature song, what they call your signature song. And you go from there, you go right down the steps of the soundstage, and you say, you can pick any song in the world. Any song in the world, if it hasn't been chosen by the person in front of you. I got called first, so I got first pick. I picked My Way. So
nice.
My Way.
That's a good one.
Ben did Suspicious Minds. Diogo did Bridge. Nick did How Great Thou Art. Al did Hurt. And it was just, and it was bam, 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 power ballad, power ballad, power ballad. You know, that year was a whole bunch of singers, right? And so that's the process. And then you get one more song, and you have, like, I had like 3 minutes. They were like calling me the entire time. They're like, Cody, come on, we gotta go, you gotta go. You got 90 more seconds, 60 seconds, 30 seconds. Walking now, let's go. And I'm like, what's happening? And I got my Aloha on and my lays and stuff like that, and I walk out and I sing My Way, and it's just like,
wow,
it's that's it. And I didn't care. There's not a care in the world at that point.
Yeah.
You know, this year there is a care. Like, I'm probably still gonna be whisked in the moment. I want to win. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Right?
I believe in you.
There's a lot of amazing guys that are in it this year, and a lot of young ones, right? Which makes me excited because I'd like to think I'm still young.
You are young.
No, I am. But it's you know, it's cool. It really is cool to see the next generation of these guys, because I identify with last year's generation. I mean, you know what I mean? And I don't even say that in a bad way, but I wouldn't even, but like the guys, like I look at them, I call them the giants, right? I call them the legends. Yeah. Like, my era of Elvis Tribute Artists can be defined as the golden era, in my opinion, right? And this is the new generation of ETAs, right? And that's great. But it's different. You know what I mean? We have the movie. There's a different edge to this generation and whatnot, versus my generation, which was by the book. Like, you didn't, like, there was a generation before that. You know, I have a lot of wrestling analogies. Like, I'm a huge wrestling fan. And if you watch wrestling, like behind the scenes clips and stuff like that, their industry is exactly like ours.
It's so 100%.
It's 100% booking, logic, anything like that. Draws, ticket sales, any contest, pushes, anything like that, and how the inner workings of the business work. That's how our business works. So if anybody's like, well, how does this business work? Go watch a wrestling documentary. That's how this business works.
Yeah, I need to do some homework.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, the only thing that's different is we don't go out and beat the crap out of each other and stuff like that, and we don't cut promos to talk trash about each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's none of that. But like, when it comes to the way that we look at our brothers and as our fellow competitors and our headlining cast people, and it's the camaraderie of that's what I mean by our business is because so many people hold each other in this business with such a high respect, and there's respect amongst the guys.
I love that.
And so you go back there, and it's just you're waiting, right? And I look at it this year, like I'm probably going to be in the same like mindset of going in there and like, but trusting my gut, right? At the end of the day. But like I said, I want to go in and win. I'm there to go win. And I'm there to have a great time, right? And any one of those guys can take it, because it's not guaranteed to anybody. With any contest, they're like, oh, there's a oogie boogie like mojo or whatever, you know what I mean? And they're like, no, it comes down to 4 people's decision on that given day, right?
Yes.
And if you're not what they're looking for, then you pick yourself up, you get back on the horse, and you go again. Any guy who says I'm done you're doing a disservice to yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I look at that as a guy who who has lost way more than he's won, clearly. And there are guys that you just never know when your time's going to be, right? You don't know when the stars are going to line. So if I'm sitting here going,
this year for you, Cody.
Well, I don't know
Cody,
about that.
I feel it.
I don't know.
And if you get through this year, you're going to remember
this
Linda
moment.
Thompson put you through. Like, that in itself is like...
I mean, you guys kind of like...
You do tell
that
cool
story.
Yeah,
it's a very cool. It's a very cool. It's a very cool. It's a very cool story. Like Linda's, she is a beautiful, genuine person, right?
I agree.
She is so beautiful through and through. The
kindness in her soul.
Oh
too.
gosh, yes, absolutely. And she loved him.
Yeah,
she still loves him.
Yes.
All right, so that cool Linda Thompson story.
Yeah. So Linda Thompson. So like she was a judge in Tupelo in 2021 when Alex Mitchell won.
Wow.
Yes. So
Alex.
that was pretty
Another
amazing.
shout out.
Yeah, another shout out to Alex, right? But she had just been to another Elvis festival, and and it's crazy, because everybody has their own style and how they produce these festivals and stuff like that. Like, Texas is crazy bunch. They party and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's different in Texas, right? Like, I love Texas. But you go to Tupelo and it's that hometown feel, like that deep Southern hospitality, and you are home. Like it just doesn't. I don't call it my second home for anything. I turn off the GPS when I get to Tupelo, just so you know.
I love that so
I don't need a GPS when I go into that town. Like,
it's amazing there.
It's so incredible. If I ever move anywhere, I'm moving to Tupelo.
I straight up said that. I'm not gonna lie. I said that too when I went to Graceland and I visited. I was like, I love this town. Like, it's so peaceful here, and it's like adorable, and I just want to live here.
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing. It has that hometown feel.
Yeah,
always.
I haven't been yet.
You'll be there
my
one day.
Goodness,
I need to pick up and go.
You need to pick up and go. Yes,
right
for sure. Yeah, go right now. No, I'm just kidding. No. So like she's in Tupelo. I got done with my headliner set, and I looked like a wet rat when I came off stage. And the security guards came and got me, and it was great. Like, Tupelo is kind of like the Pro Bowl, in my opinion. Like, you have like the Ultimate, which is the Super Bowl, and then the Tupelo is your Pro Bowl. Like, you're getting in your licks, you're getting in your kind of schedule, and you're gonna see what the gears can do when you turn them up to like 1,000. You know what I mean? Like, you just operate on a different level during the summer, right?
Yeah.
You kick it into another high gear because you're trying to get ready for the Ultimate if you've qualified, or you're competing in that realm of that. But Tupelo is always very special to me. I say magical things happen at Tupelo, and they do every year, and I'm so blessed that I'm able to experience those things, not with just myself, but with my brothers and the guys, and because there's always a moment or moments each show that happen at the night. It happened this year, like the orchestra, the symphony show was just a moment, and an just unbelievable, amazing experience, right? To see all of my friends up there doing what they love, and then seeing Elvis himself up there singing on the big screen, full of 1,200 people, and just amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
And then the night before, I was able to perform, and the crowd, we live and die by the sword, right? And in that retrospect, there was a 5-minute long standing ovation I got after Suspicious Minds. It was incredible. It just moments like that, like we did that night. We had so much fun in 21 and whatnot. And I got off stage, like I said, I looked like a wet rat. The security came and got me, and they said, "Linda wants to see you." And I just didn't understand like what they were saying, and I was like, "What do you mean, like Linda who?" Because there's a Linda on the Tupelo
Linda
team,
who?
right? Like Linda, literally, like there's a Linda on the Tupelo team, and I was like, "Why does Linda want to?" What? Okay, I guess can I get? And they're like Thompson, and I was like, "No."
Jaw on the floor.
My instant reaction was no. Like, I was like, no. And they're like, "You're telling Linda Thompson no?" And I'm like, no, I'm not. Let's go. I said, "Can I have a water?" And they're like, "Yeah." And so, like, I went out there, and they escorted me out there through the crowd. And you feel cool because you got all these security guards around you. You know what I mean? Like, anytime you get to do that, like, you're just cool. Like, I just feel cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are instances in this job where you get a sliver of what his life was like, and in such a minute, so minute, in such a minute way, like.
But it's cool.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
And so that was one of those moments that you got whisked through the crowd, and she had an area, right? So they had her set up at an area, and they had ropes around her and stuff like that, and her friends were there, and like I said, I'm short. So she was considerably taller than me, and
she's my height. She's like 5'9".
She's like 5'9", 5'8".
Yeah. Okay.
And I didn't have my tall shoes on, right? So, but like I looked, and I had them go get my like tall shoes, right? I was like, go.
Stop! Did you really?
Yeah, I went. I was like,
oh my god, stop!
Go get my boots, because my feet were hurting. Because I wear a 3-inch lift, right?
Yeah.
I wear a 3-inch lift. So I'm 5'6", so I'm math.
5'9".
Yeah.
You're 5'9".
Yeah. And then my tall shoes that I do for meet and greets have 5 inches in them.
That's what you were wearing that night?
Mm-hmm.
That's
During the meet and greet.
funny.
I would have never known.
I love that you do that.
Yeah. So I love it. I mean, it's dedication, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
if
I
it
just
makes
don't
you feel better,
dance.
Cody, I'm 5'4", so you'll be taller than me. So
great.
It's okay.
I mean,
you don't got to wear your high heels
I don't.
with me.
It's not something that you know what I mean. Like I don't care. Like but it's for the show, right? It's for the show.
For Linda, you cared.
I did. I 100% did. So they take me into the area, and she goes, "You must be Cody," and I go, "Uh-huh."
Yeah.
I was just I was awestruck. I mean, I'm sure that all the guys have the same story when they saw her and they met her. And it's just like you're just completely taken by her and her energy and her it just oozed off of her, right? Kindness. And we talked for about 15 minutes. And she goes, "I think Elvis would have got a kick out of you. And I think you really would. And you have his energy, you have his laugh at any point.
Hearing that from her,
and I was like,
oh my god,
stop.
No, and it was, and it's just, and that's all I'm going to say about that, because it's not, she said very nice things. She didn't have to say those things, and it's not. I'm sure that she shared a moment with every single guy that brought something different to the table that she saw of him in them, right? And I'm sure that that's going to be the same thing in a week. I think that she's going to watch it and she's going to see something different that they bring to the table. You know what I mean? So she was very kind. She had so many nice compliments to say, and one last thing I'll share is she goes in and she did the voice. She goes and she said, I bet he'd look at you and he'd go, "Son of a bitch, he does that more than I do."
Oh my
He does that better than I do, or something like that is what she said, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
No,
like I was like,
I want to hear her say that.
She said that, and I was like, and that's amazing, right? Because she knows, that because it gave me chill bumps, because that's crazy. That's how he talked. He goes, "Man,
yeah, son of a bitch." To get a compliment like that from not only like someone he knew, but someone
it's just cool,
he
right?
loved.
Oh yeah,
they were that is the closest you can be to someone, is when you're in a relationship with them.
Absolutely.
And
no, seriously,
she knew him.
She was great, and again, yeah. So and that wasn't the only time that we talked, and we talked throughout the weekend as she did with the other guys and stuff like that. And she was so sweet, so amazing.
Wow.
I love that.
we went to the after party, and she became part of our culture, right? She jumped right in there. I mean, she sat right up at the front of the Silver Moon. The Silver Moon Club is owned by Charlie Watson in Tupelo, Mississippi, and anybody who's anybody is at that place whenever they go into Tupelo.
Wow.
And Charlie's the guy to know. Charlie's the guy to know.
Good to know.
He's amazing.
We need to know Charlie now.
He's amazing. Charlie and Peggy Watson, the Watsons. They're amazing. He hosts the after parties every year at Tupelo, and that's where we go and party till the wee hours of the morning with Big Lou Jeff Lewis. And absolutely Big Lou, baby. And it's just pure fun. We sing what comes to our mind and stuff like that. And she was right up front. She danced with the guys and stuff like that. She was dancing around and stuff, just all this stuff. She enjoyed it. Like, she saw that this was a family and that this was something special. Like, it's not like we're a bunch of weirdos that think we're Elvis. No.
Nope.
That's it.
Okay. Well, speaking of that, can you explain the difference between an impersonator and an ETA?
Here we go.
That's a great gateway.
Yeah.
Here we go. It takes a sip of drink.
Here we go. Wait.
He said, okay.
Here we go.
Here we go.
The Wawa.
The Wawa.
Feed your gator. I love it. This is fantastic. The difference between an ETA and an Elvis impersonator it's pretty simple. I know that people overcomplicate it, but my analogy is very simple, right? An impersonator thinks they are Elvis. Tribute artist doesn't think that they're Elvis. That's surface level what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Impersonators are people who pretend to be Elvis on stage. And I recorded this song back in 19 mumbo jumbo, right?
Yeah.
In the voice, never do I ever say I or me or we or, you know what I mean? Like in regard to that. Unless it's something like that's I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not directly saying that I'm acting as Elvis, right?
Okay.
That's known, right? That's known when we get up there. Like, we're going to put on a tribute to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Versus when they say, "Oh, I did this song where I say we like to do Elvis's version of Impossible Dream." Elvis said, "We like to do our version of Impossible Dream," right? It's not. Yeah. It's not my version.
Yeah.
It's Elvis's version, right?
Yeah.
And you get people who hire you for gigs and they're like, "No, don't say that. Like, say that you're Elvis." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to say
You're
that."
not going to do
and they're
that.
like,
yeah.
"Okay, well then, then you're not coming back." And I said, "Okay, great. Okay. I won't come back." You know what I mean? Like, it's not the brand that I'm trying to put out there. So like, that's it. Like, that's the difference. Like, the guys that are impersonators are truly the ones that are kind of the campy, corny. I call them Walmart Elvises. That's what I call them.
Such a good analogy for that.
I call them Walmart
Target
Elvis.
and Walmart.
Yeah, we're Target.
I love that.
Okay.
We're Target.
We're Target. We're Chick-fil-A. They're McDonald's.
Amen. You're speaking my love language. That princess chicken. Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean?
And that's on period.
We're Universal and Disney. They're Busch Gardens. Okay.
Thank you for including Universal.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. What's another one? I don't know.
I think the Walmart and Target was like the best.
It's like Walgreens and CVS.
Yeah, we're Walgreens.
We're Walgreens.
They're
CVS. They're CVS.
Exactly. That's it. That is we're Dollar General and they're Dollar Tree.
The Dollar Tree. $1.25.
Family Dollar.
99 cents.
Any of them.
99 cents.
Any of the off brands, we're
Thank you so much for clearing this up, Cody. We appreciate it.
But like in all honesty, like I have been around so many things in such a short time on this earth, right? I grew up in this business. Like I was a kid when I came up, and I was able to see both generations come through, right? I talk about the legends, but I'd also talk about the time of the giants where there was a different style, right? That was acceptable. Correct. Because everything changes with the times. That's what we see. And some of those guys' work still holds up. Like some of them are good, but they have some of that campiness in there. But they're not doing a bad tribute to Elvis because they can actually sing, they can actually move. They're not doing a bad representation of him. No. But they're campy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there are a lot of guys now. There are way more tribute artists than there are impersonators, right? And it's almost a universal thing where people call them tribute artists, right? But I get comments on Facebook. I never liked imitators. Imitators are another thing. Like it's not, and it's such a surface level thing. Like it's with anything, right? It's anything like that. But a lot of people perceive us as a fat guy in a suit, and that's what that's the surface level with big tall hair, sideburns the size of Texas, and a gut that is the size of the Great Wall of China. That's not Elvis Presley. That never was Elvis Presley.
Nope.
And everybody else, another thing that a lot of the guys do is they do the campy thank you very much, and that's the biggest thing that irks me whenever I'm like on a job and they're like, do the thank you very much, and I do it like Elvis did it, and they're like, no, do it like Elvis, and I was like, that was like Elvis.
You're like, I know
that was like Elvis. That's how he did it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't go thank you very much. He did thank you very much.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
it. It was very. That's what he said.
It wasn't
just him saying thank you. That's all it was.
Yeah,
right.
It's that stereotype that you have to break.
But that's the difference, right? They want to be Elvis. We're not trying to be Elvis. That's the number one thing. Yeah, that's it.
And I have to ask you, now with the movie that has come out, have you noticed a shift in your audience, like at your shows?
100%.
Is it like cool?
I love every minute of it.
Do you like it?
I love it so much because y'all bring a young energy to the crowd, right?
Yes.
England and Australia and Switzerland and Germany and Spain, all of these places, all the young kids, all the people from our generation, our age, think it's cool to like the old music, right? Like they love Elvis. They've loved Elvis for forever. Like that's part of their culture, right? Yeah. Elvis is as relevant over there as Justin Bieber is or Taylor Swift. Yeah. Like that's just something they don't look at it as. You listen to Elvis.
Yeah, like
Elvis
is music,
like we in the States do, because we take everybody in this country at a point takes him for granted, right?
Yes,
because we got him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they never got him. So that seismic shift over there that's happening, we're just now seeing that over here with the movie, and that's the most beautiful thing that can happen. That's not saying that I don't love the fans that are out there that got to witness him live and all of this different stuff. No, I'm saying that in the sense of if they want this to continue, this needs to continue to happen.
Yes, the next generation
needs to continue, because if they want that to continue, there's only so much that we can do as a community to keep making, and getting people to be new Elvis fans. That was such a culture shift of like, oh my God, who is
It's
this guy?
happening.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
and there were people on TikTok. Like, I was not a TikTok. I still don't know what TikTok is. And I have followers. I don't know. Like, there's views. Like, I have no clue. My first experience with TikTok. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So, like, I'm on the TikTok and I went through a hole and I got sucked in. And, you know, I was on TikTok and I was scrolling through and I'm seeing all these Elvis people and they're just like walking out of the movie with Austin Butler and I had no clue. And I'm like, I've had a clue. Like, I've known for 25 years. Like, where have you been? You know? I got bullied in high school now. Like, and it's not fair. You know what I mean? Like,
so
I want to go into every school. I want to go into every school and be like, you, back in my day. Listen here, Sonny. It was not cool to like Elvis.
Thank you for doing the hard work.
They do
I want to get like have an assembly at like one of the schools, and I have something to say, and it has to be said right now.
And the frat houses where they condition you to be part of like the family. What is that?
It's like being a pledge, going through.
No, but like but it's like that little section in between where they like make you do crazy stuff in order to be a part of like.
I was in a sorority and I can't think of
what it's called.
Hazing.
Yeah, yeah. Like, listen here. You don't know the things that I went through.
We're trapped in our room for like 24 hours just listening to Suspicious Minds on repeat.
No, not even that. It's just me getting up on my soapbox apparently and just saying like, just like, you like that? Anyways, you know, no, but like, I just have an assembly and go like, I walked so you could run.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at me, Jimmy.
Don't get on your soapbox. You need to come down.
But it's so right. No, it's so amazing, right? Though, like, I love it through and through to be able to say like Elvis is relevant, just like Bohemian Rhapsody, like just like Queen, like like in Elton John and all of these different people, like
the biopics. Look what they've done to the world.
They do wonders.
I love a biopic.
They do. They do. I still think. I mean, and we're still not done, right? Like, there's still a 4-hour cut at some point is going to be released.
I'm so excited about that.
You know, and you know, I look at it, and maybe it won't. I don't know. Who knows? You know, but at the same point, the fact that we got this movie, and we are also getting another movie about Priscilla, and then also. We just got the Reinventing Elvis documentary.
That was
we got Agent Elvis. We have what else? I mean, Elvis was on a commercial. Elvis was through this and through that, and I mean, it's just he was third in the entire world, I think, on Spotify or something like that. Third or fourth in the entire world this year.
Yeah.
For streams.
Unfortunately, that came out as fake, which sucks.
What?
But I'm a believe it. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
It was.
Well, I mean, there was still. I still checked his Spotify, and he was still in.
It
like,
went up. It was crazy.
It's through the roof. You know, and also that the other thing that I noticed, you know, through Facebook. The areas in the United States, the people who liked Elvis increased like by the hundreds and thousands.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like there's just people who are on this train, right? And are going to continue to be on this train because of that movie. Like, and I see that in the audience is like, people ask us all the time, like I'm doing a radio advertisement and they're like, so what would you say your target audience is? And they're like 55 plus. And I was like, you wish. No, it's not. It's actually like, there's not really a gauge. I don't know how to answer that question now. Yeah. And they're like, oh, what do you mean? And I was like, it's a melting pot. Like, and there is no age limit, right? It's not like anymore. Going to a football game now. You never know what you're going to get. Right. So I think it's amazing. I think it's unbelievably amazing to be able to look out and see young people and the people that we know and love. Right. And see all those new faces and being able to get involved in this stuff. Right.
Listen, it's the closest thing we have to an Elvis concert. And it's amazing.
Yeah. The only other thing that can compare to that is having him on a big screen. and having a band behind him. That's it.
Yep.
That's the only other thing. And with that, there's only a certain amount of footage that you can access for that.
Yes.
Right? You know?
Yeah.
So it's a really cool thing, right?
Hey guys. Sorry for the abrupt stop in that middle of the interview. Cody, Skylar, and I recorded this for 4 hours, and we had to cut this episode up into 2 parts.
Yes, so we hope you enjoyed this first part with Cody. Part 2 will be out on Monday, and in that episode, we go into Cody's festivals and how he started it all. So stay tuned for more, and as always, TCB
and TLC. Bye!
Bye!
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Elvis and the Pink Cadillacs.
To connect with us, follow us on our socials at Elvis and the Pink Cadillacs on Instagram and TikTok.
And share your Elvis stories and experiences with us at elvisandthepinkcadillacs@gmail.com, and you may be featured in the next episode.
We'll see you next time, and for now, TCB
and TLC. Bye!
Bye!